Hello, and welcome to the fourth in our series of how-to guides. And you have Anne Harris there and Jeremy Blake here from Reality Training. And now Anne has developed this and we're co-presenting. It's how to plan, folks.
Hello, welcome. So I thought it would be useful to do a little something on how to plan in these slightly uncertain times. It's always nice to have something to focus on, no matter how big or small that is. So let's have a little look at this. So here are the key questions to ask yourself when you're planning a task or a project. You need to know what the objective is, what the timescales are, what the resources available that you have, and what resources you still need. In these uncertain times, as I say, it is important to keep busy, and it's important to have something to focus on. So no matter how big, as I say, or how small the task is, these are the key things that you need to take into account.
And I was saying to you, Anne, that some of the resources available to us may not be so readily. And I was suggesting that human ones were not. But as you pointed out, we are available to each other now. So some of your resources are available to you if they're people through these kind of systems.
Absolutely, which we're learning lots about at the moment. So with regards to your objective, key question, what are you hoping to achieve at the end of the project or task? What does success look like for you? Understanding what the parameters are of what you're working within, either how the scope of the project, whether it's just a small bit of it, whether it's part of a larger thing. And if it's something that has been given to you to achieve or to do, getting a very detailed brief from the person who's given you that to understand what success looks like for them.
Do you think that stakeholders has changed a bit now, Anne? Because are people any more or less in the dark if they're all based at home? You know, if we're all a stakeholder in the plan, do we feel we should have more say in it because we are receiving the outcomes of the plan differently? I don't know. It's quite an interesting word, stakeholder, now, I think.
Well, it's a difficult one to define because obviously any project can affect a number of different people in different ways. So perhaps at the outset of a project, it is more about what is trying to be achieved and then reviewing that as time goes on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
what have we got next?
With regards to timescales, understanding any time restrictions that you have. Now, currently, timescales are a very loose and fluid thing in our lives, but I think it is important to have some kind of framework that you can, time framework that you can put a project on, whilst understanding that these timescales may need to be very flexible in the current climate. But if you don't set yourself, it's like smart targets. If you don't set yourself something time bound, the danger is that it never gets started and never gets finished.
Yeah. I think there's a lovely old thing about Parkinson's law, which is work expands to fill the time available for its completion. That was what Parkinson wrote. And some people could definitely get into those habits, as Anne is suggesting, where you allow it to just go.
Sometimes it's easier to put off till tomorrow what you could have started and get going today because you have no time scales on it. So sometimes it's about getting it started.
I think some people might even use this planning idea for a day. You know, you could have such a short plan to have a successful day, successful afternoon.
A current example of this would be to plan a successful trip to the shops. What is it that you need? What is it? What's your bigger, you know, what are the meals that you're going to be cooking this week? What are the things that you need when you go to the shops? So planning that in advance is just something as simple as that.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, cool.
Okay, so then looking at the resources, identifying what resources you need to deliver the project. So be it software, be it knowledge, be it actual physical paper maybe, or whatever it is that you need. What do you have? What do you already have within your available to you? Do you have the skills, the knowledge, the people that you need? And there's also the software, both online and offline tools that you might need in order to achieve it.
One of my little current mantras is, it's not necessarily your resources, it's your resourcefulness.
Indeed.
So it's funny, playing Scrabble at home, Am, which you'll be very pleased to know, instead of just debating the word, I'm boring my children by bringing out my massive, shorter Oxfords to look up every single word. So it's quite nice to be looking at offline resources.
I bet they're loving
bringing
that,
books
Jeremy.
out of shelves. Loving is a stretch.
Well, as well as seeing what you have available, it's really important to identify where the gaps are. So, like you looking up your dictionary to see if it's a real word or not, identifying any gaps and doing some research, finding out where you could get the resource that you need to fill those gaps. That's as important as identifying the resources that you have.
I think it could be tempting, and I think of my own character, that I just put something in there that I think will cover it. If, as De Bono would say, if you've got a white hat on, we don't know the information, we don't know the answer. Has there ever been a better time ever to do research?
Absolutely.
You can do it.
That's the one thing we have, is the internet and time available in order to do that research. So it's an important thing to do.
Good time for surveys as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Loads. Yes. Excellent time. So there's lots of online software available out there, and this is just a mention of a few. There are many, many more. Monday.com, Chaos Control, which I myself use, Float, Team Desk, Smartsheet, and Microsoft Project Manager. These are just there's a whole plethora of available online software that you can use, and you need to mix and match a bit to find what suits you and your style best, of course. And there is, of course, the old-fashioned pen and paper.
Yeah, blooming right. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so something else that's really important, I think, you can't take away the human touch, is to talk it through with someone. Talk through what your plan is. Talk to someone who's already achieved this task, who's already been through it, who knows what the pitfalls might be, who can give you some tips on how to avoid them, lessons that they learned. That's valuable knowledge that you don't necessarily have yet. And it also helps to just tweak your thinking on what you might need and how the project might go forward. So it's an important time just to kind of chat it through, take a bit of time, and use the expertise that is out there for people who have already done this, whatever that is.
Connecting to what we've already said about time, there may be people who are able to give you more of their time currently. You might even be able to contact an author, somebody who's known for something, and get their input too. You never know. It's worth asking the question. Absolutely.
And social media at the moment, a lot of people are on social media and therefore are more accessible perhaps than they were before.
An
important resource to put it out there and see what comes back. Another important thing is setting milestones, checkpoints along the way that you can just check in with how the project is going. Look at what you might tweak or change. Has the objectives changed? Things change as time goes on, and maybe what looked like success at the beginning might not be what success looks like as the project goes on. So it's very important to put in milestones that allow you that time just to check what progress is. And equally, celebrate and reward the progress and the successes. It's very hard if you've got a long-term project, if you don't put in some milestones to check, but also to celebrate the fact that you have made progress on this project. And then when you get to the end and you've achieved your objective, to reward that. It's really important.
You may not be able to quite high five each other or get together and have a celebration. You're going to enjoy it inwardly, or you're going to enjoy it in your home, or if you're lucky enough to have a garden or whatever. But no, very important, because rewards and recognition are what drive a lot of people. You just got to self-celebrate, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. So that, in a nutshell, is our
how to plan.
The plan, how to plan. So hope you find some of this helpful, and even if it's just to plan, as I say, a simple trip to the shops, just an idea to sit down and make a plan, focus on what you want to achieve.
So get planning, and you've heard the old one. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Thank you very much. You've had Anne Harris and Jeremy Blake, Reality Training.
Thank you.